Good morning, this is Tim again. One of the questions that Jody had mentioned that some people have been asking us is, what size is our syrup shed? Syrup shack. I call it a shed and I always get yelled at. I don't get yelled at. I get told that it's not a shed, Dad, it's a shack. So our shack it's got a 6-foot wide porch on the front here. It's 6 feet across, and that runs the length of the building, which I believe is 32 feet. Which is convenient. It's super convenient for storing your pails at night. You get them out of the weather in case it rains or snows at night. You get them out of the weather and you can put your miscellaneous stuff here. And on the inside, so like we said, it's about 32 feet long, and we just measured it just to make sure so we're saying it right. It's 20 feet wide inside. I guess we could do a height one too. If you want to just hook it up on a beam there quick. Let's say that last foot, 9 feet.
Should I leave that up there?
I don't care, sure. And then just for curiosity, we hooked it up on top of one of the beams. Down to the bottom was 9 feet and a few inches. So it's almost 9 feet of clearance underneath the beams that go across the ceiling from wall to wall. So again, it's 20 feet wide and 32 feet long. And hats off to our carpenters again. They did such a good job when they built this. We haven't had any issues. We sawed all these logs. I think our worst post is this one right here. I don't know if you can see that. When you look at it from straight on, it has a twist to it, and it can't go anyplace, and it might show up in the wall outside. I can see there's a little bit of an extra gap right there on that brace that goes up at a 45. That post is the worst one that twisted or cracked. Otherwise, all the rest of them stayed pretty good. We sawed the logs right around Labor Day of 2018. We started on Labor Day, I think it was, because that's when the kid had time to do it. So we started that day, so we sawed for about a week to get all these sawn. So they were cut in May, sawn in September, and started using them in December. So except for that one post, everything else has stayed very good. There's some splits in them, but it isn't going to hurt anything, and it's built so solid. The only real spans that we have are the 20 feet that goes across from one side to the other, and they do have a little bit of a support in here with those screws, those GRK type of screws that they use. They've got 2 or 3 in each end of them, I believe it is. I think up on top, they went down from the very top of the beam down into it. So they're held together real good. So we took the time to document, and our step down area is exactly a foot. It actually could have been a little bit deeper than that. The only thing about that is you could go to 16 inches, I guess, and you'd have 2 8-inch steps in here. Someday this is going to get to be cement. We just don't remember to do it in the summer when we're busy. If it was 16 or 18 inches, that would be all right too. That'd be about the right height. The only thing I might have changed is right here. I might have come back further with the cement that stayed the level of the floor. So you would have had just a keyway that you stepped into to fire this, and then put your steps over here a little more, where when you're stepping up, you're right next to that stove. And for little kids that are coming around to look at it, if it was flat a little longer here, you'd take away some of that danger of them stepping off and misstepping and maybe touching the stove. But this has worked out real well for us. This is kind of a nice feature that one of the neighbors had that we copied, that was a good deal. So we did measure the doors, and they do open a full 8 feet, which I think is kind of what is convenient. It's not necessary, but it is kind of convenient. You can get in there with a 7-foot wide loader bucket with a wood in it to put wood in there, and you don't have to worry about not getting too close to, or not hitting something. And they're just a door that slides, just a barn door track, roller track. And they fit pretty snug. We have a latch on the outside that holds them together. It's the latch that moves over, locks. On the inside, we sort of just made our own lock that swings and in. So it swings and drops into a hole there. And that was just a plate that I welded a tube to and bent a rod so you can lift it up and swing it over against the door, and then it slides down again, and there's a hole down in the bottom that it'll sit down into, that it sits down into when you're not using it, and it's flat enough that this door can slide beyond the jamb, or to the jamb, and that latch doesn't bother anything then too. The only other latch that we should probably put on there is when the door is shut. We should put a latch either up here at this level. Seeing there's battens on here, we'd have to trim the batten on the bottom a little bit if you wanted to put a roller here so it stayed shut, something that would help the wind. We don't get wind on this side of the building too bad, so it isn't a big deal. But we haven't had trouble, but it wouldn't hurt if there was a latch. It would just hold it to the wall when you're locked up. We had windows installed. These were a couple of windows we got from a neighbor that donated them to us, I guess, that we built the frames for. They were an Andersen window. I don't know why you got to have Andersen windows on your syrup shed, but that's what the boss wanted. So anyway, our roof is kind of dirty right now because all the snow just finally left yesterday, and we need a good rain to rinse it off. And I see our cleats have fallen off the roof. There should be a couple more cleats up along here. We'll have to lay a ladder up there to walk up the roof. There's the cleats. Cleats are laying on the roof right there. That could be that the snow pulled them off even. So we'll reinstall those so we can get up, and we cover up the chimney on the right there. That one just gets a pail and a brick set on it for winter or for summer. And then the smokestack for the evaporator up here, that gets taken off and pulled all the way off, and then a pail gets put on that cover. So we don't ever get any rain down our chimney in the off season, which is really good for the top of the arch. We don't ever get water on that, and it keeps the chimney a little longer. And then those pieces just stay up there. Here, I'm putting you right in the sun there. Those pieces stay up there. I made a little aluminum platform that I can stand on when I install and remove that system up there. So that's kind of the syrup shed. Maybe I can get around, take a walk around to the east side of it here. That was the west side. This is the north side. We still have 8 to 10 inches of snow halfway through our season here. It's kind of a little different. So there's a shot of the east side of it. You can see our stack. We're both stacks, and there's some steam coming up out of there today yet. And here's the east profile of it. There's a kitchen area where the window is there, where we do our bottling. The one thing that we did put in, or we spent a little more money, I guess, those are just a window we got from Menards. There aren't anything they're just a basic window. But having all those windows on it is, that's kind of nice. You get a lot of natural light coming in. I think this year, seeing it's been here for 4 years. I think we're gonna seal it again this year. 3 of the sides are pretty good. It's just this south-facing side that gets a little more sun and a little more weather against it. So I'll have to take the sign down and then we'll spray it again with a sealer that we did the first time that we did it too. It isn't too bad of a job. We tape all the windows off and tape along that wainscoting or that bottom trim piece. Try to keep that covered. And then we get it sprayed as good as we can. A couple of coatings maybe even would work this year. So there you have it. It's a pretty cool hobby. Never thought we'd do that much or enjoy it as much as we do. To have family and friends come over as often as they do, and all the laughing and eating and storytelling that goes on is it's pretty cool. It's 2 weeks of fun that everybody is ready to have, to get outside and enjoy the nice weather. You can get outside without any gloves on most of the days when you're collecting. It's got to be that warm anyway. But just to get out and go visit the neighbors and see what's been going on all winter and tell a few stories, true or false, I'm not sure if any of them are true, but they get told and everybody laughs about them, and everybody has fun. And Jody and all the rest of the neighbors that come, they always bring something to eat, it seems like, so we eat way too much, but it's just a great time. So anyway, thanks for coming along with us on our sugar tour, I guess you'd call it. We've had a good time, and we'll be back again next year to do that. And in the meantime, we'll start our gardening and other adventures. Lindsay's already got a list of things for us to participate in. How's that? That's a good word, participate. Used to be a to-do list, now it's a participation list. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and we'll keep boiling.